Hello, everybody. Just going to give everybody a minute to catch up. This is Josh Goldstein coming to you on a Monday. Hope everybody's doing great. The purpose of this video is basically I want to give you an update about my immigration case that I have. I have a big hearing coming up tomorrow, and I want to tell you what's going on so you can get updated, because I think it's a case that a lot of people will find interesting. Basically, it involves visa delays and problems at the consulate, a lawsuit in federal court. A lot of my clients have problems like this, and a lot of people have problems like this right now. So I have a hearing tomorrow in federal court. I'm going to tell you all about it. If you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer here in Los Angeles, California. And I help people all over the world and across the country with immigration issues. I help people get work permits and green cards and things of this nature. I especially like to work on cases where people have delays. You apply for a green card, immigration is delaying it. You apply for a visa at the consulate and immigration delays it. These are the cases that I really specialize in. So here's what's going on in my lawsuit. My client is from Afghanistan, and he worked for 12 years as an interpreter to help the U.S. Armed Forces in Afghanistan. He risked his life to do this, and the lives of his wife and his family as well. And he, as a translator, on the basis of the work he did as a translator, he got applied for what's called a special immigrant visa. And he got that approved. And then he and his wife and his 4 kids went to the U.S. consulate in Kabul in 2015. Okay. So he shows up at the consulate. The consulate approved his visa. It approved the visa for his 4 children. But they told him that his wife, there was some issue with the paperwork and his wife had to wait. So he and his 4 children came to the United States. They live in the Stockton, California area. And they left the wife behind. And their thinking at the time was that she would get her visa and just be able to come right in. Well, that was in 2015, and she's been waiting ever since. In February, we filed a lawsuit. We sued the consulate in Kabul. We sued the State Department. We sued the consular officers. We sued the FBI. We sued USCIS. We sued Chad Wolf, Cuccinelli, all these cast of criminals that are running these agencies. We sued them all, and we said that this delay was unreasonable, was a violation of the immigration laws. We demanded that the court force the consulate to make a decision. And the case has been stuck ever since. I'm working on the case pro bono to help this person. The case was referred to me by an organization called Miri's List, which I'm a huge fan of. It helps refugee families, and I'm actually on the board of directors for Miri's List. It's a wonderful organization. If you're in a position right now where you're considering making a charitable contribution, I think Miri's List would be very worthy of consideration. Anyway, I'm working on the case pro bono to help this person, and they've been stuck ever since. And so tomorrow, the judge ordered a status conference hearing. And this is 2020, the age of the pandemic, so everything is done remotely. I'm appearing in court telephonically by phone. And see, like, we have a few people on Instagram who've chimed in, and I appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much. I really want to, I mean, the questions that I have about the case for the immigration agencies are, number one, what's left to do? Why doesn't she have her visa? They asked her for a new medical exam. Why doesn't she have her visa? Let's get this done. And finally, I want to get a timeline. How long is it going to take to get this done? I want to get this done. My client wants to get this done. I mean, can you imagine, for example, being without your children for 5 years? How is that even possible? I mean, I miss my kids during the day when I'm at work. But 5 years would be traumatic, horrific. And can you imagine being without your wife? Or if you're a child, imagine being without your mother for 5 years. And this is someone who risked his life to help the U.S. Armed Forces. They should fly Air Force One to Afghanistan and pick her up and give her a ride back to the U.S. immediately. But we'll hope that's what they're doing. I'm going to take a few questions here. First of all, we have a friend on Facebook who says, "Hey, Josh." And I want to say, "Hey, Facebook user friend. I hope you're doing well and having a great day." We have Selma here who says, "Hello." Selma, I hope you're well. She says, "Thank you for your help and for the updates." Selma, thank you for thanking me for these updates. I hope they're helpful, and I hope that they inspire other people to know that if you're stuck with a delayed immigration case, you don't have to keep waiting. And that's the thing, that's the point I try to make in all these videos and all my content, is that there are options and ways to resolve cases, and you have hope. I just talked to a client today who said she read in the news that USCIS is not printing green cards, and therefore she thought there was absolutely nothing we could do to get her case approved. And I said, come on, that's ridiculous. We can sue them. They owe you this. If they're not printing the green card, they're in violation of the law. If your case is approved and you haven't gotten your green card in your hand, then you really need to take action. Anthony Nero said your videos are, there's a little fire sign. That's very nice. If you don't know, Tony Nero is a remarkable human being, a great friend of mine, and a tremendous criminal defense attorney who is in New England, practices in New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Great, great human being. Audrey, that's ridiculous. Thanks for helping them pro bono. I pray she gets reunited with her family. Answer. I agree. It is ridiculous. I mean, it's egregious. And the thing is, the consulate has been completely wasting the court's time. I filed this lawsuit in February, and they're just completely dragging their heels. Sure, we have a pandemic right now, and that's going to delay the processing of things. But she's already had her interview. They have her passport. She's done a medical. So let's get the visa going. We have here Oscar Rodriguez. Oscar, I hope your day is going great. You say here, hello, Josh, hope all is well. Is it a good time to apply for citizenship? There has never been a better time to apply for citizenship. The best time to apply for citizenship is immediately, right now, because being a permanent resident doesn't give you the same legal rights and protections as citizenship does. Naturalization is a way to go from having a green card to becoming a citizen. And the reason it's better, the reason that now is such a great time to do this, is that on October 2nd, the filing fees for naturalization are going to increase significantly. So why not get your case ready now? Why not get it filed now? If you have questions about naturalization, hit me up. Let me know what your questions are. If you need help and you want me to represent you, I'd be happy to help you with that. But by all means, file your case and be on with it and get it done. Naturalization. Let's see another one. Selma, our friend Selma says, what can we do so that the embassy resumes interviews? Our embassies worked with expired visas, and now the interviews that have been canceled due to COVID-19, is it a good sign that embassies will resume routine visas? What can you do to ensure that the embassies resume visas? Look, the consulates and the State Department are controlled by Donald Trump. He hates immigrants, and the people who run his agencies hold immigrants in contempt. They have no interest in resuming processing of visas. And if they could, they would never issue another visa to anyone ever again. So I think that hopefully Trump will lose the election and be replaced by Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's administration will be more open to following the law and processing immigration cases. But in the meantime, consider, if your case has been unreasonably delayed, consider a mandamus lawsuit. Hit me up. I'd love to talk to you about it and see if there's a way I could help you out. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's what you have to do. Here we have Eartha. I love the name Eartha. Thank you for your question. It says, Mr. Goldstein, I've been waiting on my green card interview, but I can't hear anything. What can I do? Well, the question that I would ask you is, how long have you been waiting? If you filed your case a year ago or more, consider a mandamus lawsuit. I mean, this is the sole focus of my work as an immigration lawyer right now, are these lawsuits to challenge delays. I'm here to fight delays, and I'm here to file these lawsuits. And the biggest obstacle to filing these cases and getting them resolved is that my clients and people that are interested in hiring me they're scared to file them because they think that if they file a lawsuit that the immigration agency is going to get mad at them. But nothing could be further from the truth. The lawsuits are very, very effective at resolving delays. I filed 3 of these lawsuits today against USCIS and the State Department. And the day's not over yet. I have 2 more to go. So that is the solution. Tomorrow's the hearing. The hearing's at 8 o'clock in the morning in California time. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope and expect that the judge is going to tear into the defendants and, try to get them to take action. Our friend Eartha said I was supposed to go on April 22nd, but they put it off. I mean, again, my question for you is, when did you file your case? If it was filed more than a year ago, then I think that it's an unreasonable delay. So 1 year is the measure that I use for an unreasonable delay. And why do I use 1 year? Well, think about it this way. Let's say that you were at a cookout, a barbecue, a pool party, or whatever socially distant, responsible interaction that you could have right now. And let's say further that you ask someone, someone asked you about your immigration case, and they said, well, what's going on with your immigration case? And you said, well, I applied for a green card, and it's been more than a year. Someone would think that's crazy. Why would it take more than a year to get your green card approved? That's crazy. That's unreasonable. So that's why I think 1 year is a good measurement. Let's go to another question from our buddy, Mufli. I hope I said your name right. I tried. It says, what does it mean when my case says escalated to post? I'm in administrative process since December 2019, and I made an inquiry and responded, and that they made an inquiry to respond that they're going to schedule a second interview. What does it mean when it said escalated to post? Well, I think, pardon me. I think that the messages that you get on CEAC, CEAC, the messages that you get about the status of your immigration case, I don't really think much of them. I don't really put much faith in those updates because I don't really think that they mean very much. And, sometimes they say the case has been refused. Sometimes they give out information that's incorrect or misleading or inaccurate. So, I mean, to me, there's only 2 questions. Do you have the visa or do you not have the visa? If you have the visa, then you're done. And if you don't, then everything's pending. And I really don't put much stock in that. I hope that answer helps. Mufli, I hope you do well with your second interview. Let me know if you need help. And by the way, you look a lot like Muhammad Ali. Remarkably similar. I hope your footwork is as good as his. Let's take another question from Selma. I want to do an expedite through the Moroccan embassy, and I have some serious reasons. Do you have any clients in Morocco that got their cases approved? I'm already waiting for a CR1 visa interview. Okay, I have tons of Moroccan clients and Moroccan friends, and I handle a lot of cases with because the consulate in Casablanca is completely incompetent, unresponsive, difficult to work with. And this is what I want to tell you. So if you request that your case be expedited for a serious reason, they're very unlikely to approve the request. And that is because to request that the case be expedited, you're asking them to do you a favor, and you're asking them to take action and use their discretion to help you based on a humanitarian issue or some kind of a financial situation or something like that. And they rarely do that. So I'm not a big fan of the expedite request. But if you want to effectively get your case expedited, what I do is I file a lawsuit. I just sue them and go to court. We force them to take action. And when you sue them, they have to go to court. They have to respond to the complaint. And it gives you a level of accountability that effectively expedites the processing of the case. If you have a delay and you're ready and you're serious about resolving it, a mandamus lawsuit is the way to go. Of course, it would be much easier if the consulate could expedite the processing of your case on its own without the lawsuit. And if you can get them to expedite the case, then you should do that. You shouldn't waste your time with the lawsuit. But the reason that I file lawsuits instead of asking the consulates to expedite the case is that when I ask the consulates to expedite case processing, they don't do it. They don't take action. And it usually just wastes time. So that's why I did that. I'm here for questions. If you have other questions about green cards, citizenship, visa delays, green card delays, citizenship delays. Citizenship delays. We haven't talked about that. Citizenship delays. So did you know that by law, USCIS has a mandatory legal obligation to make a final decision on your application for naturalization 120 days after your interview, right? So they have 4 months to make a decision. And if they don't make a decision within that time period after your interview, what you can do is you can sue them and you can go straight to federal court and you can ask a federal judge to make a decision on your application. You can do your naturalization interview in federal court. I've done this. One of my finest moments as an attorney was representing an Egyptian guy many years ago. And we had a hearing in naturalization in federal court. And the judge, a very stern man, he looked over at my client and he looked over at the attorney for the Department of Homeland Security. And he asked the Department of Homeland Security, he says, what's going on here? What's the purpose? What's going on with this delay? And the attorney for the Department of Homeland Security said, well, we have a background check that's pending. We're doing a security check. We're doing a name check. The FBI is currently investigating this case with all seriousness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he spoke for about 10 or 15 minutes about the serious security concerns that they have and the reasons for why they're putting things into administrative processing and visa delays. And the judge just sat there very quietly. And after the attorney finished, he said, thank you very much. Then he looked over at me and he said, counsel, is your client ready to take the oath? And I said, I think he is, Your Honor. So he looked over at my client and said, sir, please stand up and raise your right hand and repeat after me. He read them the oath of naturalization. He swore my client in on the spot in the hearing. And then he came down and gave my client a big hug. And my client got his picture taken with the judge and his family. And it was amazing. The hearing took 10 minutes. And this judge was a serious man, a very serious judge. This is the same judge who presided over the trial of Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the Boston Marathon bomber. Judge Gorton in U.S. District Court for the District of Massachusetts. All right. Let's go back to Audrey. Thank you for the updates. My fiance is stuck in Greece. He had his interview July 30th, but when he arrived at the embassy, they said it was canceled and he never received the email for this. Well, I mean, Audrey, I'm very sorry that happened. That's very, very much par for the course, right? The consulates are not in the customer service business. They probably never even sent him the email. Or maybe he traveled from great distance to get to this interview. And during a pandemic, he took a lot of risks traveling. And I mean, they treat people like garbage. So I guess my question for you is, Audrey, is when did you file this case? When did you file this case first with USCIS? If it was more than a year ago and you're sick and tired of waiting, you should consider a mandamus lawsuit. And you should give me a call and connect with me and explore whether that is a good decision for you. Selma said transcript is very important for the embassy where I'm going to have an interview. My husband filed his 2019 taxes in May, and we didn't see our transcript yet, and the payment has been made May 2nd, and there's still nothing. Can you help us about this? If yes, I will have my husband contact you for responding. Well, look, if you filed your tax returns recently and you don't have a transcript yet, you have to wait for the IRS to process your return and issue the transcript. I don't think I can do anything to accelerate that process. But my understanding is you don't necessarily have to have a transcript. You could have a copy of your tax return with all of the schedules and W-2s and all the ancillary documents, and that could be sufficient. Yeah, so Audrey's case was filed March 22nd, 2019. You certainly could do a mandamus lawsuit. If you would like to discuss that with me, we should do so privately and not on a live video feed where lots of people are watching. But just contact me and I'd be happy to chat with you at no cost. I love doing mandamus lawsuits. I love helping people. It pains me to see good people like Audrey and her fiance stuck with a delay that's unreasonable and unfair. Well, I mean, again, my big theme of the day is this: waiting leads to more waiting. And the only way that you can get a result is by taking action and forcing them to go after them and force them to make a decision. Let's go to one of our friends on YouTube, Hamza. Hamza, thank you so much for your question. Thank you for watching. Thank you for paying attention. I hope this helps. Please subscribe and like my video and share it with your friends if you find it helpful. He says, I'm a 2021 DV winner, the diversity visa lottery. And the process is the process still going on with Trump? I mean, after the ban ends, is the process going to go again, or is there no hope? Thank you. Well, I guess my question for you is, are you a 2021 winner or a 2020 winner? Because if you're a 2020 winner, you only have until September 30th of 2020 to get your visa processed and completed. Because on October 1st, we start the new fiscal year of 2021. So if you have until September 30th of 2021, then you have more time. Because Donald Trump has blocked the processing of the diversity visa lottery, and that's going to continue until December 31st of this year. Now, there are several lawsuits challenging this delay, and there have been hearings in federal court in the last few weeks. And so I'm hopeful that the floodgates will open and these cases will continue to be processed, but we'll have to see. I hope this information is helpful, and I hope this inspires you to take action. If you have questions or need help, I'm always here for you. I'm going to continue making these videos. I'm going to create a regular schedule where I'll be appearing live. But right now, I'll probably go live tomorrow after my hearing to give you guys an update on what happened. I'm hoping for good things. My client would be so happy to get some good news. In the meantime, I hope you're well. Stay safe, be well, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.